Okay, hi friends. So, I feel like it's a little dark in here. Hang on. Okay, ooh, there we go. So, this is video number 2 of my International Intentional Parenting YouTube videos. So, I had a better day today. So today it was nice. I had to work today, so I just got home. So that's why I'm still in my car doing this quickly before I go in. I walked out to my car today and had my dear friend Holly, that was literally parked in my, right in front of my driveway, just bringing me textiles, and Holly does this all the time. This is kind of one of those things that Holly brings us textiles. We do fill the box textile recycling and get 20 cents a pound. Usually do it for our adoption. Sometimes we take a break and do it for other nonprofits, but this loads for our adoption, this next one we're doing. And she just leaves stuff here. Usually I don't see her. Sometimes I do. She gave me a Christmas card, and she gave me at least 2 hugs, if not 3 hugs. And I didn't tell her I was sad. And I don't feel like I acted sad, but I think maybe she just sensed it. But we had a great chat. It was just nice to start my morning with that mom solidarity. Holly has, 6 kids. And she has this lovely, huge family, and she does such a great job, and her kids are really close in age. But she has just been one of my solidarity mom friends throughout our adoption. It's angry with me, frustrated with me, but supportive of me in terms of that maternal influence and protection. So I really appreciate that. And it was nice to start the day with hugs from Holly, and the sweet donations that she brought for me to add to our pile. That helps with our costs, which is helpful. The other thing is we got a really good, we had another good email today setting up a very soon WhatsApp video and kind of the logistics on how to make that happen. Basically today we got an email just asking when we could do it so we could talk to our Liberian daughter. So that'll really be helpful for me. It'll really be helpful for my other kids, to just see them and talk to them and just hear their voices and let them see the same. My girls here want to give them a tour of their new room, that the Liberian girls are going to get to join in. They all share a big bunk room, and probably want to show them the puppies that we have. Well, they're dogs, but we call them puppies, but they're actually, mostly adults. One of them's a little bit younger. So that's good. My older girls have soccer tournaments this weekend, so we're excited about that. And then their rec soccer league, this is huge for them. So they're excited. So we get to do that tomorrow. And then just some good things coming and some good things planned. But at the same time, one of the emails that we got this week too was good from USIS, the United States Immigration Services. So we have to get FBI fingerprinting every 18 months. So we did the first time, and then at the 18-month mark, they renewed it. They didn't make us come back. And so we sent them an email because they're about to expire, and they sent an email back. So we're like, what do we need to do? Do we need to go back to the FBI? Because we have to get Florida state fingerprints every year. And basically what they do is they fingerprint you and make sure you're not in their system. So the fingerprints are yours. They're not really supposed to keep them, but they just clear you. So Rachel has not committed a felony or been arrested this year. So we still think she'd be a good adoptive parent. So this is an annual thing. So do I think it's ridiculous? Yes, especially since I hold a medical license and practice medicine. Did it today, and I got fingerprinted once for that, but I guess they assume over the next 5 years that I've been working there. The last 5 years I've been working there, that I haven't committed a felony. So I don't know why for our adoption we have to do more than I have to do to maintain my medical license, but that's neither here nor there. It's just my personal opinion. So we got an email this time, and it said you don't have to. So for the state of Florida, we still have to go annually every time we update our home study. So it's about $1,000 to update our home study every year, and then another $30 each. So around $60-ish total for us to update our fingerprints. Now, granted, we also have to have a day off to go do that during business hours, which isn't terrible, but I still think it's unnecessary. But for the federal government, instead of us going back and doing our fingerprints again, they said that they are going to resubmit our digital fingerprints. So Jeremy and I were talking about, does that mean that they're just going to say it's good? Or did they take a picture of my fingerprints and they're going to run them again? Because that means they're keeping my fingerprints on file, which is different than fingerprinting me to clear me. So on one hand, I am grateful because those fingerprints are more like $80 a piece, because they're different than the state of Florida. They're the federal government. So for some reason, the state of Florida, the federal government can't communicate and decide that one set of fingerprints is okay. In Tennessee, it's every 2 years for the state, but still every 18 months for the federal government. So the good news is I don't have to drive to downtown Fort Myers to the immigration office and get fingerprints again. The concerning news is, did they keep my fingerprints and are they running them again? So that's just something to ponder on. So from an intentional International Parenting Day, just because we do have something scheduled to see them, that's good. I am trying to solidify my travel plans and travel dates. Got a little bit closer to that today on some stuff we have to take care of at home. So hopefully I can leave either January 1st or 2nd and come back on maybe the 10th or 11th before I have to start back to work. So I can see them in person. No movement on it, but we got a little more thorough update from our agency about what they're trying to do, the context that they've made, appointments that are supposed to be happening, meetings that are supposed to be happening. Liberia is notorious for shutting down from like Thanksgiving until like January 15th for the holidays, but it seems like there are some meetings still taking place. So maybe something will happen good. So yeah. I think that one of my Liberian daughters has hit a growth spurt, because I did see a picture of her from a couple weeks ago that they sent us via email, and it looks like her, like clothes that I gave her when I was there in July, look like maybe she's grown, maybe she needs bigger clothes. So I mean, in an orphanage setting, it's not ideal. They do have fantastic caregivers, like the people that take care of them in the orphanage, the women there that care for them with their basic needs, the security guards there, the director that checks on them often. Those are all fantastic people, and I know for sure they're doing the best. It's different for a kid to be living in that setting versus a family, just because of the ratio and the permanency and the confidence that they have with that. But that's an emotional thing. I do think that their physical needs are being met. I don't want to take away from that. But oftentimes kids will have kind of growth delays when they're in orphan care, and it's not necessarily nutritional as much as it is emotional. And you'll see it in foster care too. And then when they reach a point of permanency, they have these huge growth spurts. It's like they just know that they're where they're permanently going to be, and that really does matter psychologically. So had a visit from a therapy dog today at work. There's this like lab Bernese Mountain Dog mix dog. She's sweet, and the volunteers walk around these therapy dogs to all the employees all the time, and they're super sweet, and it's nice to see them. But it cheered me up, but it made me miss my dog, my lab, my big black lab pit mix that died a couple years ago. It just makes me like, oh, I miss Froggy. But it was nice to have a therapy dog. But it's weird, like how so much of my emotions are like right at the edge, and just one person can ask me the wrong thing, or not the wrong thing, but something about our adoption, or how are you doing, like how are you doing really, and I can lose. I feel like my emotions are just right there at the top, like I could go at any moment. And I mean, oftentimes, like that's why I've kind of been avoiding going to church some too, because I'm like, I feel like I cry every time I'm in church, because they're playing these great songs, but and then they're like depressing to a point, but maybe God will help, and it's an overwhelming thing. It's like a constant emotional anguish that never leaves. But I think honestly doing these videos and taking the steps towards trying to see our kids in person and visiting with them monthly and just checking in on them and letting them check in on us is going to be something that helps me a lot come out of my self-imposed darkness and isolation. So yeah, so these things are good. So I'm going to try to start doing these videos every day, because I know that even when I was doing them before, there were some good days and some bad days. It seems like when I share their story and I tell their story, for me personally, it helps me get out of bed the next day. It helps me not wake up in another reality of where I left my kids on the other side of the world and came home. And like that hits me every single time I open my eyes, like a ton of bricks on my head and on my chest. And I have to like willfully be like, all right, let's get up. What helps me a lot to get up and keep going is when I'm teaching swimming lessons or when I have to go to work. Swimming lessons is like literally the only time that I don't think about Liberia at all, and I don't think about our kids there at all, because I'm so focused on teaching that little kid to swim. And so it's an escape from my mind, and definitely puts to good use. I think I've done 204 swimming lessons since we got home, so I have a spreadsheet. Graduated lots of kids that I know will not drown, which is great. But yeah, so I guess things are good. We've always got our fundraisers going right now. We're doing noonday stuff for my dear friend Evan's horse Charlie, who survived tetanus. He's still doing some rehab. He still needs some surgeries. He's still not in the barn. He's still living in her house, in her playroom, sort of playroom area. So, but he's alive. So the noonday sales that are going right now, there's like 70% off clothes, and there's a lot of sales coming up. So if you guys are the noonday fans that watch our YouTube videos that aren't on Facebook or whatever, click on the link. I'll add the noonday link today in our YouTube video. But these are the things I'm doing to keep myself going and keep myself sane. But I really could use some more coping mechanisms to how to get through this without losing my mind, or without becoming bitter. And I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to resent this process. I don't want to be mad at our agency. I don't want to be mad at the government. I just want to find a way that if I can't parent in person on the same continent, I'd like to figure out what the best intentional international parenting is. And if there's not a standard for it, let's create one so that I can do a really good job at it, because that's what I want. Okay, so I think that's all I have for today. And the like 5 people that watch these videos and encourage me when you see them, or worry about me when you see them, thank you for watching. You know who you are. Bye.